And Mind Crypto here. I hope we're all having a wonderful day. And today we're talking about Nexera NXRA, one of my favorites. Please remember, I'm not a financial advisor. None of this is financial advice, and none of the information provided in this video should ever be seen or taken as a signal to buy or to sell. Blimey, we're looking red today. So let's take a deeper look at the crypto bubbles. And as we can see, NXRA is down 3 ranks to 440, market cap of under $100 million, which is absolutely insane considering what they are actually doing. We got a 24-hour volume of $424,000 with a price of under 13 cents. Wow. That absolutely amazes me considering what's actually going on at Nexera headquarters. And we can see this from the Nexera Foundation April ecosystem update, making strides in advancing real world and digital asset tokenization. And we can see here, I'm going to move down to this because I find this very important. The real world asset tokenization is coming to the forefront. Tokenization of real world and digital assets is becoming a critical adoption and use case for blockchain technology. This is acknowledged by the amount of news, market research, and analysis that has been released in the past month. CoinGecko has released a high-level market roundup detailing the performance of RWA token projects. As a category, these projects grew in valuation by 286% in Q1 2024. After launching in March, BlackRock's Build has become the world's largest tokenized treasury fund, valued at $375 million. This highlights a substantial institutional appetite for tokenization solutions, poised to continue growing. Nexera has always led the industry in tokenization thought leadership and infrastructure, introducing ERC 7208 and Nexera protocol and developing solutions and tools to make it easier for business and startups to leverage our technology. With the growing importance of RWA and digital asset tokenization, we are strengthening our position in the space and cultivating an ecosystem of businesses and developers to build on our standards, interoperable and composable infrastructure. Through this lens, we continuously push forward and make advancements across the Nexera ecosystem and NXRA utility. Now, this is absolutely huge. And as we can see, BlackRock's Build becomes largest tokenized treasury fund, hitting that 375 million, toppling Franklin Templeton's. BlackRock's first tokenized offering, created with Securitize, has captured almost 30% of the $1.3 billion tokenized treasury market in just 6 weeks, which is absolutely huge. BlackRock's Build Fund grew $70 million last week to take the top spot from Franklin Templeton's Benji offering, which saw minor outflows, blockchain data shows. Growth on Ondo's Finance OUSG token was responsible for a large part of the inflows. Asset management company BlackRock's BLK tokenized asset fund Build became the largest of its kind Tuesday, overtaking rival Franklin Templeton's similar offering. The BlackRock USD Institutional Digital Liquidity Fund, represented by Build token on Ethereum network, has been backed by the US Treasury bills, repo agreements, and cash. Now boast $375 million of deposits after enjoying $70 million of inflows last week. Blockchain data by RWA.XYZ shows the fund, created with tokenization services platform Securitize, has captured almost 30% market share since its debut on March 21st. Meanwhile, the Franklin On-Chain US Government Monetary Fund with the Benji token slid to $365 million in assets under management after experiencing minor outflows during the same period. The change in guard was largely thanks to the growth of Ondo Finance, whose tokenized treasury offering OUSG leverages BlackRock's token as a reserve asset and enjoyed $50 million of inflows last week. The rapid growth of BlackRock's first tokenized offering occurred putting conventional assets like bonds and credit onto blockchain rails in forms of tokens, also known as tokenization of real-world assets, has captivated digital asset firms and traditional finance TradeFi giants alike. Tokenization could offer benefits like faster, around-the-clock settlements, increased operational efficiency, and greater transparency. US Treasuries among RWAs have emerged as a gateway for tokenization efforts as low-risk, well-known instrument where investors can park their on-chain cash and earn stable yield without leaving the blockchain ecosystem. The tokenized treasury market swelled to a near $1.3 billion from near $100 million in early 2023, propelled by in part of BlackRock's entrance into the competitions, which is absolutely huge. And we can see here from Generation Infinity breaking Nexera official accepted in the European Commission tokenized workshop. The workshop stages are number one, fund tokenization, number two, secondary markets, and number three, interoperability. So the European Commission shapes strategy, proposes laws, and manage the EU budget. So let's have a listen to Rashida Jaja.
We got accepted to do the workshop at the European Commission, so tokenization workshop. And actually, this tokenization workshop, it will be done in three parts. So the first part is fund tokenization. What we can do, why tokenization? So everything that you spoke, and Max also spoke about them. So the benefit from tokenization. So what will be, so like, who are the players that can be the what can bring to the space, and of course in terms of regulation. And then you have the second part of the workshop, which is actually secondary markets. Okay, you tokenize your fund. What will you do with it? Okay, so and the third one, and Max actually spoke about it, is interoperability. Okay, so you have multiple chains. You are permissionless, permissioned. You are EVM, non-EVM. You have different standards within the chain. So how can we make this interoperability? Okay, because if we have like lot of tokenization platform doing the same things, using different standards in different chains that cannot communicate between them, but at the end we will have a space that is completely scattered.
So there you go. He's talking about standards and obviously interoperability, because we can't have it all fragmented. And they are setting the standards. And we can see here from this report on the ERC 7208 on-chain data container, which Alliance Block Nexera is absolutely leading. And we can see here the abstract on-chain data containers are smart contracts that inherit from the ERC 721 to store on-chain data in structures called properties. Information stored in properties can be accessed and modified by implementation of smart contracts called property managers. The ERC defines a series of interfaces for the separation of storage from the interface. Implementing the functions that govern the data, we introduce the interface for restrictions, structures associated with properties that apply limitations in the capabilities of property managers to access or modify the data stored within these properties, which is absolutely huge. So we got this down here. The EIP standard proposes a series of interfaces for storing and accessing data on chain, codifying information and generic properties associated with restrictions specific to use cases. This enhancement is designed to work by extending existing token standards, providing a flexible, efficient, and coherent way to manage the data associated with it. And we can see here standard neutrality, consistent interface, simplified upgrades, data abstraction, and actionable data. Now, this is huge because what they are doing is they are creating the standardization for tokenization within the Ethereum space. And we know that BlackRock is using Securitize, and they are using Ethereum for their tokenization, which is absolutely massive. Now, I also posted this the other day, and this was a quote from Rashid Ajaja. On the institutional side, things need to be clear and compliant. That's where Overledger steps in. We're plugging into it with our tokenization process, tailored for business deals. With its centralized approach, Overledger offers a structured environment that many institutions are familiar with. This makes integration processes smoother and more efficient. Big institutions require straightforward tech solutions, and Quant fits that bill perfectly, bridging the gap between traditional systems and cutting-edge blockchain innovations. Overledger will also be leveraged for our institutional bridge, institutional version of our Teleport cross-messaging protocol. This can be used for bank consortium, for example, interbanks cross-chain trading. So things are looking very, very interesting for Nexera. They are partnered with Quant, who are leading the way with RWA, bringing that legacy in, and Nexera providing the standards within the DeFi ecosystem. So very, very interesting. Now, what I did the other day is I tried to emulate what we call the Wall Street cheat sheet. And as we can see, this is ALBT before the Bonk DAO exploit back in 2023, where we saw the big capitulation down as we saw a lot of the tokens sold off by the hacker of BonkDAO. People got scared. They literally pulled all their tokens. From the last bull run, we saw the capitulation down, and then we ended up in this accumulation zone. Now, if we go over to the new chart, Nexera, NXRA, as they moved over, we can see we are still within this accumulation range. We can see it pipped up here. In my eyes, was starting to run, and then we saw a little bit down here, and I believe still we are in this accumulation zone before we start to reach out and hit that disbelief. So there you go, guys. Absolutely phenomenal details coming out of Nexera. I'm bullish. I'm excited with regards to the future of the project. I think it will do absolutely fantastic during this next bull run when it arrives. So there you go, guys. All the best, and I'll catch you later.